Hey, what's up? It's Chasta and Baby Huey from 1077 The Bone. Losing our minds. So excited. We have Art Alexakis from Everclear on the line. Holy crap. How are you, sir?
Oh my goodness. And better now. You said my name exactly right. Exactly.
Well, I don't want to scare you. I really don't. But as soon as I told my husband I get to interview Art from Everclear, he goes like this. Don't scare him. He knows how much he knows how much I love Everclear. You're a pivotal band for myself and Huey. This was our wheelhouse. This is our age, our coming of age with Everclear. So we're a little geeked out. I won't lie to be able to sit and chat with you. So thank you for making the time.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely.
So again, sorry I was a little late. I am we're I'm home for just this week, and then we got shows and after that, and then we're on the bus next week. I'm gone, so I'm trying to. We're still putting our property and house back together. They're putting in the backyard lawns. This is after the fire destroyed the whole back area. We're like 350 feet from ground zero from the Altuna fire.
I had heard that. So it got up to where did it get any part of your house or was it the property?
Well, I mean, there's burn marks on the house. There was smoke damage in the house.
Oh my God.
Our fences caught fire. Thank God for the fire department, or our house would be gone. I mean,
God bless
I've
them,
never
right?
seen anything like it. 85 miles an hour wind, and I don't walk that well, anyways. Balance wise, I have MS,
Sure.
and being out in that wind with just millions of cinders flying everywhere in every direction. It's not like they're all going one way. It's like the wind was just going. It looked like hell. Like
It's like a tornado of fire. I'm from Southern Oklahoma, so I think like that. So it was like you were living in a tornado of fire. God bless you guys. I'm so glad you made it out of here.
Tornadoes look like that. When you're close to a tornado, it's going every which way.
Yes, that's exactly right.
I was in an underpass. We were touring. This is back in the late 80s, early 90s, a different band. And we saw a twister there and a twister there. And you can't really tell which direction they're going. And
that's right.
You think they're going away, and you're driving, and they're coming right at you.
And they also can skip, hop, and jump. They've got almost like maniacal devil personalities. Like they're evil. They really are. Yeah, it's very rock and roll.
Well, Art, man, glad to see you're doing okay. You and your family.
But that's why I was late, because I'm dealing with pest control.
Oh my God. Adulting gets you every time, doesn't it?
That's sexy. That's sexy.
I'm sure you can't wait to get on the road and have someone else deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
No. I like taking care of it so that my wife can not take care of it.
Okay. That's a good man right there.
We have a teenager, so she's got plenty on her hands to do.
Gotcha. Well, listen, Art, Chas and I are super excited. We know Everclear is about to go on tour with Local H and Sponge. You're coming to the Bay Area for 2 shows. This is awesome. So the first one, Friday, September 5th at the Guild Theater in Menlo Park. And then the next night, you're going to be in San Francisco at the August Hall. And just go to everclearmusic.com for all the links to get your tickets. And I do want to shout out, you have Live at the Whiskey. That came out a couple years ago. Amazing performance there. But also on that album, you have 2 bonus tracks. You have Sing Away and also You're the Tiger on there. So you got some new Everclear as well from the last couple years. And this tour, man, this is incredible. Celebrating the 30th anniversary of Sparkle and Fade. So, man, first off, Chas and I love the lineup here. Local H and Sponge. Both incredible bands. So yeah, how
rockers, man? It's all rock. This is rock. And and it's old school rock. And you know what's a trip, guys? Is we're getting fans under the age of 20, or like under the age of 25. They weren't even born when these songs were on the radio.
That means there's a lot of good parents out there. That's what that tells me.
You would think so, right? And some of it is what we call legacy, is parents, uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters. But I would say the majority of it is kids who are online. It's the Z generation, those Zoomers. They're online, and they're looking for rock because they're not getting it from contemporary music. And I talked to them, and they're like, the 90s was like the epitome of classic rock. And I go, well, actually, the 90s is when we were making music, And we grew up in the epitome of classical.
That's right.
Yes. Right?
That's right. Yep.
So yeah, you guys 90s kids.
Oh, absolutely.
We were 90s kids, but
Yeah.
see, we run a radio station 107.7 The Bone in San Francisco, which we want to talk to you about your San Francisco ties. But we're very proud to be able to do and play the heritage stuff, right? The great stuff that came out of the 70s, 80s, but then we also have 90s plugged in, and we have shows like Bone Breakers, a show we host together where we do active rock, and we're putting on new Everclear, and we're putting on new artists to engage with that younger audience to keep rock alive. That's like our sole purpose. So, you know, it makes us really proud to be able to do all of that.
I'm glad you guys can do it. I hope you can do it and make a living. That's awesome.
We try not to tell corporate.
You know, it's
I
like,
kid.
Yeah. Don't even start me on corporate right now. They're all just a bunch of cowards. Tell them I said that.
I will. I'll let them know. I'll send them a voice memo right now. Art said.
They kept firing me. It's like we're putting out, as you guys might know, a 30th anniversary of Sparkle and Fade. I remastered it. It sounds awesome. And then we're doing on digital, and a collector's album. There's actually 8 more songs that were from like the archives. They let me go through the Capitol archives. And
that's so exciting.
Oh, wow.
The original demos for Heroin Girl and Twist Inside. And a version of the song called The Swing that was on the Scream 2 track.
My favorite scary movie. I love that song.
Yeah, and this song is like Everclear hardcore fans like holy grail. And there's a different version of that with different lyrics, different guitar parts. And I forgot this was the original. It's much more punk rock. And there's all sorts of stuff, songs that I put together. And then we'll put out another version of the vinyl, and it's all on vinyl, colored vinyl, 180 gram vinyl. So it's an exciting year. But my whole point was like, they came to me and said, "You want to do it?" And I'm like, "Well, I have these little guidelines we got to go by where we work together." Because
I love your guidelines. God bless you and your guidelines.
I ain't taking crap from any major label. I didn't then.
You didn't then. No. And that's what I love about you when you signed to Capitol, because people were fighting over your ass, which is so amazing, you know? And like you stuck to your guns and you said like, I'm going to have creative control. And nobody really has the nerve to do that because people want to make it so bad. And I think what helped you is that you were just a tad bit older. You had seen a lot of shit. You'd gone through a lot of shit, and you weren't going to take no shit. And I think that really served you.
100% exactly right. I'd seen my friends go through it. You know, I grew up in LA and playing in bands and stuff, and punk bands and rock bands and all sorts of bands. And I'd see bands get signed and they make these deals, and I'd be like, dude, you're going to get fucked on that deal.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
And they usually do. Oh, it's
all good.
We'll edit it before it goes to air. You're fine.
You're going to get screwed. And they would, you know. And I mean, so when you're right, you'd heard the stories. Like, I'm like, you know, I want this, and this, and this. And everyone's like, oh, that's great. There's like 28 labels. And then I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, I produce my own records and I have creative control over everything. And my lawyers will show you everything.
I hate to be crass, but the balls. Like the balls. Yeah. I love it. It makes me so like, you go get them.
You know, of those 20 labels, just poof, gone.
Hey, but you still had a handful to work with. So you were good. And Capitol,
they were my people. Sometimes you gotta draw a hard line to find who your people really are.
It's interesting you say that because Chasta, you know, earlier this year we watched the Led Zeppelin documentary, Becoming Led Zeppelin.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
so 3 times.
I had no totally. It's amazing. I had no idea about what went into Led Zeppelin 1 as far as Jimmy Page demanded like full control. You had to play the full song or the full album on the air. They had full creative control. Or like they did the song on their own first and then presented it to the label and be like, take it as it is, no changes.
The
put it out
the whole album. The
Yeah.
whole album. But he also had a scary mountain troll of a manager, Peter Grant.
True.
Yes, he did to back him up. That's right.
The scariest looking man ever.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and Peter's just like, this is how it's going to be. This, if you're not going to do it, I'm going across the street to CBS, and I'm going to work them's like, wrote the check.
Yep.
There you go. And it was he, people thought he was crazy at the time. He goes, watch.
And the rest is history. You were your own mountain troll. You didn't have a mountain troll to do your business for you, unfortunately.
I had to be a lonely city elf acting like a mountain troll.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. I just have to I'm going to give you your flowers. That's what Huey and I call it. And I'll try not to get emotional here, but Everclear, it's funny how you came into my life because I was dating this guy in college. It ended up being a total douche and an idiot. But he was obsessed with this band called Everclear. This is late 90s. And I kicked him to the curb, but the thing I kept was Everclear.
Right.
And I was obsessed, and
smart girl.
Yeah, no, right. It was a heck of a deal. But I mean, truly, I came from, parents that got divorced when I was 7. And So Wonderful is a very powerful song to me, and Everything to Everyone really speaks to me. And of course, Father of Mine. And there's just I always loved so much how you took these really heavy topics and topics that were very personal to me, and you almost made them whimsical. And I know you hear this all the time. You probably hear this every day of your life, but for a kid like me growing up to have that to hold on to, man, thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Chasta, for saying that. I don't know about whimsical, but I definitely, man, I grew up listening to hard rock bands and heavy rock bands and stuff, and
That's control.
That's control. I'm out front.
I'm sorry. And I just, I loved them, but I didn't, I love Led Zeppelin, I love Black Sabbath, but the lyrics are kind of stupid. Come on.
I love that.
And people are like, what?
Making it to Mordor really didn't get you in the heart.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I love Tolkien. I love fantasy. Yes. I love Dune. Yeah. I love all that stuff. I can talk to you for days about it. I love fantasy. I love Downton Abbey. I love all that historical fiction and stuff. I just don't put it into my rock and roll. It doesn't have a place in my rock and roll. And rock and roll, to me, when punk came out and they were talking about things that made sense to me, as a teenager, broken home, brother died of an overdose. Already when I was 16, 17, I was already a drug addict, carrying a gun, dealing drugs. Punk rock, that attitude spoke to me more, but I've always loved rock. When Van Halen came out, I loved them. I love that big sound. Sure. I just needed it to be, it's funny. I heard on my 16th birthday in the back of a car in Houston. I'm coming back to LA the next day. I'm in the back of a car and Eruption and You Really Got Me by Van Halen comes on. And I'm like, I'm never going to be the fastest guitar player in the world. No, that guy is. And then the next song was Elvis Costello, Watching the Detectives. And I'm like, man, I love his voice. I love that song. I want to do songs like that with a guitar, like just big, heavy guitar. And if you think about it, that's what Everclear is. I'm a singer-songwriter with a more punk aesthetic, but with a big rock sounding guitar sound and drum sound. I mean, you can't take the things that gave you passion out of you. You shouldn't, or you shouldn't allow that to happen. And that's, look at me, I'm 63 and I'm still getting excited talking about music.
I love it.
We're working on a new record, by the way. I decided to do a new record. So,
wow.
Yes, we're music to our ears, quite literally. Can't wait.
Probably next year, and it's gonna be heavy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Lyrically and music. Yeah.
Wow. Well, with that being said, though, Art, I'm just curious, here we are celebrating 30th anniversary of Sparkle and Fade. And I'm guessing I thought I saw on a post on Facebook earlier this year. I believe the set lists for the shows in the Bay Area. Are you going to play most of the album all the way through?
Whole album.
Okay, cool. Whole album.
Basically, I'm going to come out. We're going to do 3 songs from Sparkle and Fade. Then we're going to do a song or 2 from something else. We're going to break it up, and then 3 more songs from Sparkle and Fade in order. And then like we'll do Wonderful after.
Yeah.
You Make Me Feel Like a Whore. Why not?
Awesome. I love it. Yes, that's
Why
fantastic.
not? And then and then we'll get in New Life and Santa Monica. I'm not going to do Santa Monica in order. I'm going to tease that a little bit.
Of course, you have to.
Got to finish the show with Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do that. People throw things at me. So
yeah. Well, let me ask you this. So in preparation for this tour, I'm guessing you had to listen to the album all the way through again. I'm just curious. So,
we've been working on side 2. We play side 1 in most of our shows.
Okay.
We played the Twist Inside, which is the first song on side 2.
So
we do that, but we have like Queen of the Air. We've been working on that.
Yeah.
Nehalem, Chemical Smile, Sexual Life, Pale Green Stars. We've been playing Pale Green Stars and Chemical Life, Chemical Smile. Excuse me, not Chemical Life, Chemical Smile. So yeah, we're gonna be playing it all, and it's gonna be fun.
That's awesome. Well, I'm just curious, do you listen to the album now? And what's your thoughts when you're listening to that album? Does it take you back to early 90s and what you're going through at the time? Or you're like, wow, I can't believe I went through and this is what I wrote. I'm just kind of in retrospect, what goes through your mind when you listen to this iconic album that helped you, launch into stardom and whatnot? But what goes through your head when you re-listen to that album?
Well, yeah, I mean, so we went through the thing of remastering this record, so I've listened to it a lot.
Okay.
With how the original and now, and just trying to fix things that I didn't hear then. Just it's a little less high endy, more bottom end, bigger drums, bigger bass, the guitars are chunkier, but it doesn't sound totally different. It just sounds better,
Okay.
Like it got a little makeover.
Just enhanced. Yeah.
But to answer your question, yeah, when I go back and listen to it, I try to, for every artist and musicians are artists. If you're writing songs, you're making something creative out of nothing. That's what an artist is to me.
Yeah.
This is you're taking an idea and you're putting it down either on paper or on canvas or on tape or on video or whatever, or film. If you're coming from an idea and you're making it, you're an artist. And I used to hate that thing because punk rock wise, you're an artist. Screw that, man. You're a guy in a rock band. Be a rocker,
Yeah.
But you are, I learned. But that being said, just looking at where my head was then as opposed to now, and a lot of times people listen to earlier stuff and you'll have what's called the cringe factor. I do that differently. I don't have that with any of my albums, to be honest with you. I don't. I mean, I might, and I don't even go up, yeah, I'd do that differently. I'm just like, that's where I was at the time. When I turned that thing in, it was the absolute best thing I could do. There was no stone unturned. And I accept that. I don't know if it's nostalgia or anthropology or whatever, but where that was at that time was the best it could be.
I think it's authenticity. I think you were writing from a place of absolute authenticity, and that's why there's no regrets, because it was your truth, right? And it came so much from your own life experiences.
Well, some did, but some came from my perception. Sometimes, I mean, I write songs in 3 ways, really. Like I write autobiographical songs, New Life, Father of Mine, of course.
Yeah.
There's, I'd say about a third of my songs are autobiographical. Another third just come from my life. Like I'll just take things and build characters. Like Santa Monica's kind of that.
Yeah.
Everybody's been through a breakup. Everybody's moved away for dated someone and made stupid decisions and tried to find that comfort zone. And Santa Monica was that comfort zone. And you'll notice I don't say the word Santa Monica in that song ever.
Yeah.
And Capitol tried to get me to change it. I got called a really bad name by the president of Capitol.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, I'm not asking here. You can edit it. He called me a cocksucker. And I'm like, I go, dude,
Wow.
I make money, right? And I'm like,
That's crazy.
just fucking do what I tell you to do, you little cocksucker. And I'm
Oh
like,
my.
I go, for one thing, I'm a foot taller than you.
Yeah.
And I didn't grow up with rich parents like you did. So
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
don't physically threaten me. But I mean, it all came down to the point of like, I knew what I felt was right. And like you said, I was a little older. I lived through, I paid attention to what other people had been. There's that second batch of songs are those, me paying attention and building composite characters out of both my experiences, my perception, things I hear about, things I read about, other people. And then there's another third of the songs where I just write a story. I just come up with a story.
Wow.
And just create it. There's a song on Sparkle and Fade called Queen of the Air.
Yeah.
And we recorded that song, and it's about this kid who has these bad dreams, and he realizes that this beautiful red-haired girl, woman, jumped off a bridge, that it was his mom. And my drummer at the time, Greg, comes up to me and goes, "Man, I tell you, I'm really sorry about your mom." And I go, "Why? What's wrong with my mom?" He goes, "No, I mean, she killed herself." I go, "And my mom was over in Beaverton." I'm gonna go get her some fried chicken and take her some. She's retired over in Beaverton, and I go, "Man, I had walked by a bookstore and saw, like, I love old books, and this was like an old book with the leather and the gold printed embossing and stuff, and it was called Virginia, Queen of the Airlanes. I'm like, what is that about? And that store was always closed every time I went by there, and I would just look at it, and I just wrote the song about Virginia being the queen of the air, but the queen of the air being taking to the air. And I wrote it from first person of this child because I like first person, writing from the first person because it's storytelling, and I like storytelling.
I love how your brain works. It's so creative, though, that it just kind of comes at you out of thin air, but you grab it, and run with it.
Yeah. There's a lot of neurodivergence there.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
That's amazing, though, that you're you put yourself out there, willing to be vulnerable and talk about your personal life out there. Was there any time writing an album, like, was there any topic you're like, you know what, maybe I'm gonna hold off talking about that or sharing about that or find a way to make a song about that? It's like, that's too personal. Like, I'm gonna hold off on that.
There's a couple songs that I recorded. Like, there's a song on our last album. We put out an album. I don't know if you guys have heard it, but it's a rocker. It's a great sounding record, and some of my best songwriting came out in 2015. It's called Black is the New Black. It's the heaviest guitar record we've ever done. And there's a song on there that I finally decided to write about for catharsis, and it's called You. And it's basically about me getting raped when I was 8 years old by teenage boys and one guy in his 20s, and just and it's that story. And it talks about how me as a grown man, I don't know if you guys have been through therapy, but you try to go to that inner child and make them feel safe and make them feel secure. And that's one aspect of cognitive CBT therapy. And I did that with that song, and it came out great. And I will never, ever play that song.
I bet. Yeah, that was your own. Yeah, that was for your own healing.
I'm sorry. There's a couple other songs too that I don't need to play.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I've heard you talk about that story as well, and you've written about things like that and suicide as well. And just over the past weekend, we hosted and covered an event for San Francisco suicide prevention. It was actually a Chris Cornell tribute show, and it was a benefit for suicide prevention. And while we were covering that, I was doing interviews and talking about having the tough conversations, saying those things out loud, so that people feel less alone, because there are loads of people that have gone through those types of traumas and feel like they're the only ones. So you having that hard conversation is so valuable and so important, and putting it in a song is life-saving oftentimes.
Yeah. Well, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to talk about the hard things, but how hard and how bad would life be if we didn't talk about the hard things?
That's right.
Chasta, I really appreciate what you said. And yeah, I mean, it's like, I have a neurodivergent teenager, we go through things with her. I've gone through things with me. I've almost killed, I've made that decision, gotten really close to it a couple of times. Yeah. So I try to write about things, and there's, there on the, Huey, you talked about, the 2 tracks on the live album.
Yep.
There's a song on there called Sing Away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, my daughter never did that or tried to do that. She talked about it. Like, who hasn't thought about it, really? If you suffer from depression or anxiety or OCD or anything like that, everybody's had those thoughts. But I remember hearing about kids who were getting shamed and bullied online, and I heard about this one little boy who was like 9 or 10, and he had a colostomy bag because of some genetic thing.
Yeah.
And he got teased so bad at school that he came home and took his parents' gun and killed himself. And that just blew me away. And I told my wife that, and we just, both of us, cried for a good hour or two. And that's where that song came from, was just, could you imagine having to be in the house? I don't know if you guys have kids, but it's just losing a kid. My mom lost a kid. All my sisters lost sons. I, knock on wood, haven't, and hopefully will never outlive my children, because you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
But even though I haven't been through it, I've seen it. I know people that it's happened to. And I think as an artist, I'm sympathetic enough that I can get pretty close to it. And I've talked to people who've lost kids, and they said that that song really helped them because they felt like they weren't alone.
Yeah. And that's my point. God bless your heart for doing that.
Wow. No, Art, appreciate you sharing that, explain that. I do want to touch on real quick, as Chasta mentioned, we are the rock station here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Her and I love the music scene. We love how rich the music history has been here in the Bay Area. All the decades, different genres and bands have come through here. As we mentioned earlier, you did live up here for a time, late 80s.
5 years.
Yeah. So
it was a very important time for me. One of the reasons I moved up there is because in LA in 89, it was all butt rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You could not get a gig unless you were like, had long hair and looked better than the girls that were going to
well,
everybody was running to LA to make it, and you were running away from LA to make it. It was amazing.
We moved to San Francisco because there was clubs where you could get gigs.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the thing. I was curious, like when you moved up here, what was your impression of the Bay Area music scene at the time? Because at that point, thrash metal was really thriving by mid to late 80s, but then also the late 80s, like over in the East Bay, there was like this underground punk scene really developing, and Gilman and like all those bands. And so like, what was your mindset? Did you know that something was brewing up here in Northern California? Like, I need to go up there and be a part of that?
Well, to be honest with you, those scenes I felt at that time, I'm 28 years old, 27, 28 years old. was a little old for those scenes, even though, I mean, I couldn't even get into Gilman's. And if you were over the age of 21, they wouldn't let you in. But, you know, there was Death Angel and all the, you know, Exodus and all those bands. And I appreciate that music, but it wasn't my thing. My thing was more of like the Replacements, Husker Du, REM, X is when the LA, you know, seminal punk band out of LA. That was my thing. So when I moved up to San Francisco, I went up for a weekend, I think with friends to see U2, because they had an extra ticket. I like U2. I'm not a huge U2 fan. They're a little too glossy for me. I like a little rougher around the edges. And but we went out to, like, you know, restaurants and clubs and saw bands, and there was all these cool underground bands that were writing songs and really gritty. And I'm like, I belong there. I can get gigs. If they're giving those guys gigs, they're going to get
okay.
That's fantastic.
That's always been my inspiration. If bands are better than me, I'm like, man, that's awesome. I want to try and attain that. Or if they're not, if they suck, I'm like, I'll smoke that guy.
I got this in the bag. I love that. I love the confidence. Well, look, you're going to be up here next weekend, and I'm going to go ahead and make the ask. I would love to meet you in person, Huey, and I would love. He's met you once before already.
Yeah.
I was out of town when you were here last, but would love to like sit and chat with you for a couple minutes and geek out.
Set it up with Barry. Set it up with Barry.
We definitely will.
I'd love to meet you guys in person. You're going to come to the Menlo Park or to the August Hall?
I mean, to be honest, I'd probably like to come to both, but I think I'm going to do Menlo just because we have friends that work at the Guild. So
Menlo is going to be easier. By the way, that's pretty much sold out. I think there's like 7 of the really expensive tickets left.
Yeah.
But that show's, I mean, it's small too. It's like $4.96.
And that theater is beautiful.
Gorgeous.
I bet. Well, so was August Hall. August Hall is gorgeous. And
I went there last year. That's
900. And that sold out really quick.
Yeah.
Well,
it really
as it usually does. This is our 3rd year in a row of playing there.
Yeah. Well, you've got fans like us up here. Everybody wants to see you come up to the Bay. Well, look, we are Art. It has been such a pleasure. We could talk with you all day. We know you have contract work to get to and adulting to get to. I do want to ask you one more question really quick. It's from the movie Almost Famous. Based on the conversation we've already had, I have a feeling you're going to have a good answer for this one. But the question is, what do you love about music?
We flips the chair around.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Billy Crudup. And he's like,
yep.
Everything.
Yeah. Yes.
That's my answer.
No better answer. I agree.
And
I know.
Dig this. This is way before your guys' time, but when I was 4, living in Santa Monica down on Exposition Boulevard, an apartment with my 4 older siblings, my mom and dad, still my mom and dad. Mom would put me to bed and leave the door open a little bit because I don't like to be in the dark, total dark. Just, it's always been me. I like just that light of
the sliver,
the door open a little bit. And I heard this music going on, and I got out of bed in my PJs, and went and crept out behind the couch, because the whole family was sitting there watching TV, and they were watching Ed Sullivan. And this is later. This is 66. And this is the last time the Beatles were on Ed Sullivan. And they were playing, I think they were playing Paperback Writer, right? Which is just a great song.
Oh, yeah.
Songs are great. But I mean, just that riff. And I just remember it just electrifying me. And I'm watching from behind the couch, and then finally I can't handle it anymore. And I run out there. I'm in my underwear and my jammy top, and dancing in front of the TV. And my parents are sitting there having, cocktails and all.
Yeah.
This is the 60s.
Awesome. I love
mom's hair all up and stuff. And I mean, if you look at the back of Sparkle and Fade, that's my mom holding me.
Yeah.
Got this big do and this
little
devil spit curls.
Yeah.
And that was me. I was the most beautiful baby of the 1.5-year set.
That's so great.
Yeah, I don't know what happened either. But that's all I ever wanted to do.
Cool.
That, whatever that was,
Yeah.
I wanted to do that. And as time went on and I got closer to doing it, it's like, I don't want to be a rock star. It's not that thing, you know. Yeah, I have an ego and I want to hear people clap. I still do. People want to sing my songs, and playing clubs like we do between 1,000 and 2,000 is perfect, because it's small enough that you can see faces, you can see people, and it doesn't just look like a big sea of humanity.
Yeah.
But it's big enough that when you hit that last chord and the song's over, the roar of 1,000 or 2,000 people, it's pretty satisfying.
That energy hits you. Yeah,
Man.
I bet.
It feels
I
good.
can only imagine. I
It
bet.
feels good to be liked. Let's not lie about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Appreciated.
Awesome, Art. Well, hey, we can't wait to feel that energy next weekend. So Everclear, Local H and Sponge, 2 Bay Area dates, as we mentioned, the Guild Theater in Menlo Park, Friday, September 5th. Also the next night, Saturday, September 6th, all 3 bands at the August Hall in San Francisco. Everclearmusic.com for more info. Check out Sing Away and Year the Tiger. Both songs are streaming online. And yes, you're celebrating the 30th anniversary of this album, which this is what you signed for me back in Santa Cruz on the Beach Boardwalk in 2019. So thank you for that. 30th anniversary of Sparkle and Fade. Thank you for everything. Just writing the soundtrack to our youth and just being an awesome person. And we can't wait to see you next weekend.
Well, thank you guys. It was wonderful talking to you.